Oh, we're recording. Great. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Sunday night training, our quick, fast, and furious 30-minute training, but it's always right to the point and amazing. And I am so excited about our guest tonight. I met Jason Kokenzie last month, really for the first time that I got to really talk to him and get to know him. When he did our LVA here in Arizona. He is a Pro 8. His wife had a Pro 7 business, and he was very skeptical, stayed away from it for about 4 years because he didn't like network marketing, jumped in, and now he's a Pro 8 in his wife's business, which is awesome and amazing. So they have a Pro 7 and a Pro 8 business. And Jason has always been an entrepreneur at heart from what I gather talking to him. He's always had his hands and tinkering in his own business, and he was into health and wellness. So imagine to him when his wife brings something home and he had never heard of it, right? So I love how the story unravels, and that he had, you know, both the entrepreneurial spirit and the health-minded and wellness background, and all of that, both of that came together. They have 4 children, so they're busy. And they built the first Pro 7 business was like we've done it, person to person, home meetings, all of that. And his business, he said that about 85% of it was done on Facebook and on Facebook groups. And I'm like, okay, tell us what you've done on Facebook groups to build this. So I just want to say that it takes all the tools in the toolbox to build this business, okay? All the tools. Face-to-face, meeting people, home meetings, hotel meetings, webinars, Zooms, and social media. Social media is where you're gonna connect and get good at connecting and meeting more people, and that's what Jason has done. And then he takes it offline and has a conversation. So I just want you to know this is another tool in the toolbox. I always tell my team, if you're not on Facebook and you're not good on Facebook, don't worry about it, right? This is just another tool for the people that want to use it, right? That's all this is. So Jason, unmute yourself. We want to hear how you use this tool, how you're building using Facebook groups. I was fascinated by your talks. I think everyone's going to be super excited to hear. So I'm going to turn it over to you. I might pop in and ask questions if I just want to clarify something, but it's all yours, and take it from here. Thank you so much for doing this for our team. Can't hear you. Oh, can't hear you, Jason.
Okay, hold on here. All right, give me one quick second here.
No problem.
All right, can you hear me better now?
Yes.
Okay.
Perfect.
Wonderful. I am actually traveling. I'm in Colorado actually right now, so all my stuff is not the way it typically is. So I didn't expect it to be this dark in here, but it is dark, so I apologize for that. I don't have my typical lighting and stuff. But anyway, guys, I am excited. Maria, thank you for asking me to be on here, and I love the subject matter that we're going to talk about tonight, and I appreciate so much what you already said, because what you said is very important. Everybody understands that the whole world of social media marketing is not the end all be all. It is not the only thing. It is, as she said, it's a tool in the basket. It can be a very effective tool, but we still do the traditional side of network marketing. And by the way, that is still very effective, and in some ways even more effective than social media can be. And so I don't want you guys to get distracted by social media. As Maria already said, if that's not in your wheelhouse, then don't even worry about it. Just let it go. Just go do the belly to belly, do the coffee shops, do the home meetings, because those things are absolutely fantastic. And I still do those things. That's why I said I do about 85% of my business. Actually, I just did a home meeting last night here in Colorado. So just to kind of give you that perspective, but I do love social media. And let me help start off. As we look at social media, we look at social media marketing, the world of network marketing. Social media is a tool to gather people, in my opinion, okay? So there's lots of ways to do social media marketing. There's lots of ways to do it, and I'm not saying my way is the best way. It's a way, okay? And I say that because I know there's a lot of people out there, and I'm gonna ask for a show of hands for those of you who are on screen, okay? For those of you who are not, totally fine. Maybe you can raise your hand or put, say, me down on the bottom, but how many of you love to do Facebook Lives? You just like, I cannot wait to get on Facebook Live today. How many of you are that person? Okay, I want you to look at the videos that actually are on screen, okay? There's like 2 people, maybe 3 people, but not a whole lot of people like to do Facebook Lives. Some of you, you tolerate them, you do them, but you're not in love with them, right? How many of you, by a raise your hands or even comment me in the comments below, how many of you are like, I hate with a passion doing Facebook Lives? If that's you, comment me or raise your hand right now. How many of you are hate? Okay, some of you apparently don't care either way, but there's a lot of you, I see a lot of your hands down there saying, yep, that's me, that's the person. Here's what I find. I find that in the world of social media, especially when it comes to Facebook Lives, I find a lot of my team's going to do what I do, right? That's just the way that they do it. And so what I find is that if I'm just like that hardcore Facebook Live person, my whole team feels like they have to do it too. And so because of that, what I found is a lot of people got burnt out on it. They stopped doing their business altogether. And they felt like, well, Jason, he's an elite distributor, therefore he has to he's doing this, so therefore I have to do it. So that really got me thinking and said, basically, I've got to learn how to do this social media marketing where I can teach them that there's other ways other than just doing Facebook Lives all the time. So ultimately, that was my thought process. So I said, I got a little phone here that what if I'm in the middle of something where I can't talk, can I still build a business? And you know what? That was what I was out to set pace so that I didn't have to do Facebook Lives and all that kind of stuff all the time, because I just learned a lot of people just don't like doing that. So guess what? I cracked the code. I cracked the code of how to work in groups to build a business. And so I'm going to give you a little bit of perspective of this. And I'm going to say this. Some of you are going to be like, wow, that's so amazing. It just happens to be a skill that I really have done very well. And I'm going to help the average person learn it too. So I'm really good at recruiting people. Okay, I'm really good. I'm just really good at it. Some of you are not as good at recruiting, but you're really good at other things in this business that I struggle with. Okay, so I want to be very clear with that. I don't want when I'm going to say what I'm going to say next to be something like, wow, I just am never going to be able to do that. Okay, so understand, social media I use as a tool to gather people. Okay, last year I enrolled 30 platinum packs from social media and countless number of customers as well as silver and gold packs as well. Okay, I say that not to be like, whoa, this is so incredible. This is the magic ticket. This is what I've been waiting for. This is the missing piece. No, again, it is a piece, but it's not necessarily the missing piece. Social media is a very powerful tool. And if you know how to use it right, it can be absolutely dynamic. And so that's what I want to do tonight. I want to teach you how to use these Facebook groups, because some of you are doing these Facebook Lives and you're doing them every single day, and they're not a bad thing, okay? Some of you are being consistent, and that's a large part of what this, especially in the beginning. There needs to be a consistency in your social media marketing in order for it to eventually be profitable for you. So guys, there is a learning curve here, and I'm just going to tell you something. There is a learning curve in social media marketing that you might try things over and over and over. But the cool thing about this, guys, is that you can make a whole lot of mistakes, and there's still 3 billion people left on social media. So you got a whole lot of mistaking that you can do, and it'll be okay. All right? So I want you to understand that. That's one of the reasons why I actually started working in groups as opposed to doing this on my main profile. Because if I did it on my main profile, I didn't have the ability to make tons and tons of mistakes, because eventually my whole database on my main profile was going to be destroyed, right? So that's one of the reasons why I pulled away from the Facebook Lives, because listen, I have a lot of followers, but a brand new person who just starts in this, they may have 0 followers. So if they do the wrong thing, they've already ruined their whole database. Do you see why going into groups has so much more value that you can have a lot of trial and error, correct what you're doing, and go into more groups and still do trial and error, but still have success. One of the beautiful things about social media marketing, guys, is you can fail forward and still be wildly successful, okay? So that's kind of the premise why I'm doing those things. So I'm just going to give you some thought processes here so that as we get to the groups, and guys, 30 minutes is a quick time to really expand all this, okay? So I just want to understand, I'm going to talk fast, so I apologize. Hopefully you can grab all of it. But if you go look at my Facebook page, okay, and by the way, you're probably saying, well, Facebook only? Can you do this stuff on Instagram? Can you do this stuff? Well, the reason why I use Facebook is because there's just a lot more control than I can get on an Instagram. There's a lot of ability to build culture. There's a lot of settings and things that I can do on Facebook that I just frankly can't do on other platforms. I do use Instagram a little bit, and I've had success on Instagram, but if I'm comparing them, for every one distributor that I may have enrolled or customer that I may have enrolled on Instagram, I've probably done 20 on Facebook, okay? So here's the thing, if you look at my Facebook profile, you're gonna find something. I say nothing about LifeVantage or any of the products of any way, shape, or form. So this is a good thing because here's the thing, people, if you start getting really good at this, people are gonna Facebook stalk you to find out what you're doing, and if they see that you're an independent distributor of LifeVantage, you know what they're gonna do right away? They're gonna go Google it. And then all of a sudden, they're going to have a biased opinion about what they think LifeVantage is. And so they're going to make a 100% decision on that 3% of information that they got from the website or from Google. Now, is that what we want to do? Is that staying in control of our business? Well, the answer is really no, right? So I take all of that stuff off my profile. The only place that you're going to be able to see anything about LifeVantage is if you happen to go through my photos and you happen to see me wear a shirt that says LifeVantage. And I'll tell you this, I've been doing this now for several years, and in my entire time, I've never had one person ask me about what LifeVantage was from one of my pictures, not once. And I have a lot of LifeVantage clothes, lots of it, okay? Except for one person that just happened in about the last 7 or 8 months. Ironically, it was a 20-year-old boy that I used to teach in school. I used to be a school teacher a long time ago. I taught him in school, and he has autism. And he's the only person in the last several years that has ever asked me a question. Other than that, I've had nobody ask me a question about anybody in photos, so I haven't really been worried about photos. But it's the writing, it's what you post on your wall, it's what you're posting on your About You information. My recommendation, guys, is that take that stuff down unless you are a person who has a lot of followers. That's gonna hurt you in social media marketing more than it's gonna help you, okay? So again, the reason for that is because people are going to go and look at everything on your Facebook profile, and they're going to be wondering, well, what is it that you're going to do? So guys, here's the thing. Do I want to hide LifeVantage for them? No, I actually want to tell them everything. But it has to be in the right scenario, right? It's like that person who says, hey, what is this all about, when you invite them to a coffee shop meeting? And you say, well, you just have to see it. And they'll say, well, send me an email. Well, do you send them an email? Well, you probably shouldn't, because that's going to hurt your business, right? It's the same thing if you have it broadcast all over your Facebook page or your profile. They're going to do the same thing. They're coming to conclusions that they really shouldn't be coming to. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. I give you that foundation so that you can understand where I'm coming with this Facebook groups. Now, understand something. Facebook groups, again, and I'm saying this several times here because I think that's such an important thing. Facebook groups, I use them as really as a tool to collect, okay? This is how I fill my funnel, is through these Facebook groups. Now, these Facebook groups are groups that I am in that I am not the admin of, I am not the owner of. These are groups that I have interest in, number one. Number two, they are groups that I can give value to as well. It could be any type of group. So it could be anything from, and I'm just giving general interest out there, it could be anything from technology to horseback riding to crocheting. I'll throw one that maybe a lot of you like, jeeping, you know, going in Jeeps, learning about Jeeps. I throw that out as an illustration purpose. It could be anything. I'll use the Jeep as a platform to help us understand that. For those of you who don't have a Jeep, you're going to realize something real quick. Jeeps can have a lot of money spent on them. There's so many customizations to Jeeps. In fact, they're the most customizable vehicle on the planet. So all kinds of things. So this is what I'm going to use you as an Jeep group as an example. So a few things that I'm looking for before I get into a group. Okay, number one, I want them to be private, not public. If I'm in a public group, anytime I post in it or comment in it, it's open for everybody in the world to see whether they're in that group or not. So I want it to be private. Number two, I really try to find a group that has 10,000 members or more. And the reason why is because I want a lot of conversation happening in that group, okay? I don't want just one bit of conversation happening often. I want a lot of conversation over and over and over, okay? So those are the two things I'm really, really looking for. Now, go make sure that you read the policies about that particular group, because you don't want to get caught for spamming or marketing or things like that. Some admins have some very harsh rules, and if they catch you doing something that you're not, especially in the beginning when you're not good at it, they're going to kick you out of the group. And the last thing you want to do is be kicked out of a group that you have interest in and you enjoy being in the group. That's the last thing you want to do. So I find groups that I'm interested, read the policies and procedures. Now here's the key, especially in the beginning, guys. I want you to make sure that you give value and give value often. When I first started this, I would spend about 2 hours a day working in these groups. Now you're going to say, well, how many groups are you a member of? I'm a member of probably 70 to 80 groups. Now you're saying, wow, holy moly, 70 to 80 groups? That's insane. Okay, but how many groups does Facebook actually show you? Right? So Facebook has algorithms that they change about every 30 days. So the way things look on your Facebook page change every single day or every single month. So I probably only see on a daily basis maybe 10 of those 70 to 80 groups. Okay, so there are certain groups that I have a lot more success in than other groups. So you're going to have to filter and you're going to have to learn. If you don't see success as you're going through, go join other groups, because there's tons of them out there, right? So I go work through those groups. And so what happens if Facebook algorithm shuts one group out and I don't see it for a while? I'll be like, oh man, yeah, there's that group about the Jeeps that I was doing really well. So I'll go search it. And it's not that I was kicked out, it's just that Facebook algorithms changed it. So what ultimately happens is that I will go to that group and give value in there, re-comment, repost, and start talking and giving value so that I see that in my algorithms. Because you are going to find, again, some groups give you better opportunity than other groups, just because there's not any necessarily a rhyme or reason. It just works that way, okay? So you're saying, all right, Jason, fine, I get it. Now, Jason, what do you post? What's the magic formula? All right, I get it. That's what we want to hear, right? So let me kind of give you the thought process behind this. What I found is that you can go one of two ways in this. You're going to have groups that absolutely talk about all their aches and pains and health issues 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it may have nothing to do with Jeeps. But they're still talking about their aches and pains, even though it's a Jeep group, okay? Now, here's the thing. You can talk to them about all of our products. You can talk about all that kind of stuff, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing, but what I found is that if I focus on a product-centric social media marketing concept, is that a lot of them got really mad because they felt like it was a bait and switch when I started talking to them about the business. You see where that was see how that's a problem? Okay. And I'm not saying you shouldn't do that, but you need to make sure that you're upfront with them. Okay, so I'm just giving that hint. So whether you're doing product or business, I need to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. So what I look for is I look for more financial posts as opposed to health, because if I'm talking to them about business, what goes along with every business? A product. It has to, right? So yes, please understand, I'm not hiding the products. I'm very much talking about the products, but I let them, they know that with every business there is a product. Okay, so, all right, Jason, so what are you looking for? I'm looking for people who talk about financial issues. I can't retire. My job's terrible. I hate my job. I just got fired from my job. I'm looking for a side hustle. What do you guys do for extra income? Man, I need more money. I need to go find a second job. Do these things happen all the time in these groups? Yeah, every day, over and over and over and over. Guys, you guys got some really cool Jeeps. How do you pay for all the lift kit? How do you pay for all the extra lights? All these things. And it happens all the time. People want to know what it is that you're doing for a side hustle. Okay? And you're going to see those words, side hustle, side hustle, side hustle, side hustle, every day, numerous times. Now, before I get to that, a lot of you might say, Jason, do you still spend 2 hours a day on Facebook? No. I used to when I was learning, but now I'm getting really good at it, that I may spend about an hour a day, but it's not in one concentrated effort. It's throughout the day, because I've learned patience is the key when I'm commenting. So guys, I don't ever post. I only comment. Okay? I only comment. So this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for those posts who are saying, I need extra money, I need a side hustle, I need blah, blah, blah. Now, this is where it is important that you understand what to do next. Because here's the thing. If you are in Facebook world and you see those, you're going to see that they fill up with comments very fast. And you might see 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, 1,000 comments within the course of that post's life. Now, here's the thing. How are you going to stick out? That's really the question. So many of you have heard Andy Andrews. He's become one of my favorite authors. He says something and you've heard him say it, and this has become kind of one of my mantras as my own personal life. He says, you've got to play the game that no one else knows that they're playing. So here's the thing. When these people jump in here and they start commenting about all their side hustles, it's just a bunch of noise. So if you go and say, well, I'm part of a company that's called LifeVantage, you know what? It may be unique from the fact of there's not 100 people saying I'm with LifeVantage. But when all is said and done, it's just another name. Now, don't take that personal, okay? But to the $500, $600, $700, $800 or 800 posts, guess what? It's just another name. So guys, don't do what everyone else is doing. I learned a long time ago, if you do what everyone else is doing, you're probably doing something wrong. And it's very true when it comes to social media that when you're saying, well, I'm part of LifeVantage, or I'm part of a network marketing company, or I'm part of direct sales, or I'm part of multi-level marketing, guess what? You're just white noise that everyone's just going to gloss right over. So you've got to play the game that no one else knows they're playing, and that is this. You've got to comment to make people attracted to stop and read what you are typing. That's what you're doing. You're saying, Jason, what exactly does that look like? Well, it kind of is somewhat custom to the post, but not necessarily entirely. So let me give you a couple of ideas, okay? Now, again, there's going to be some trial and error. So don't say, well, Jason, I did the same exact thing you said, and it didn't work after 5 times. Well, I'm sorry, you got to tweak it, okay? So again, a script is a script. It is not the absolute truth. It's something that you got to put your personality behind it. Now, guys, we have 5 minutes left here, and we got so much content, it's ridiculous, okay? So I'm going to try to do what I can. So here's the thing. I try to say things that nobody else is saying. When everybody else is saying, I'm with this company, instead of that, I say, well, guys, a lot of you are focusing on things like linear income. Why not focus things such as leveraged income? See how that was totally different than everybody else? Everyone else, I'm with LifeVantage, or I'm with a network marketing company, or I do wholesale, or I do this. I do ESL on VIP kids. White noise. But if you say, well, a lot of you are focusing on leveraged or linear income, what you really need to focus on is leveraged income. And then pause, stop, walk away. And then you know what happens? People start commenting on your comment. And that's important. That's what you're looking for. Because now people are going to start asking you questions. Now, guys, don't blow it up. You can't just vomit text on it just because people start asking you. Again, it's a patient game, okay? You got to say the right thing at the right time. So people are going to ask, well, what's leveraged income, right? Again, just give little bits of information because your goal then is to attract people to ask more questions and to ask more questions and to ask more questions. And you've got to give them little nuggets, okay? That make other people want to come and also ask questions as well. Now, here's the trick, 4 minutes. Do I tell everybody what I do on that post? Nope. What I do is I'll say, guys, and this is very important, and I say it literally like this. My goal is not really here to blow up all this information via text. Here it is. So if you're really, truly, genuinely interested, you're saying that was a lot of repetitive thoughts. You're right. But what I've learned is that that is the filter to help people who are just curious to people who actually really want to know. So I said, if you're really, truly, genuinely interested, let's connect. I don't say I don't say message me. Admins don't like that. So I say, let's connect. So sometimes that means a friend request or sometimes that means a private message. And by the way, if you don't know that there's a message request section in Facebook, you need to learn that. If you don't know that, you probably have several messages in there as we speak. So guys, I let them message request me. So in other words, this is now attraction marketing. What am I not doing? I'm not reaching out to anybody. I'm not cold contacting anybody. They're now reaching out to me. Isn't that cool? Isn't that what we want to have happen? So guys, once they message me, I say, hey, thanks so much for texting. And I say the exact same thing. I say, listen, I wasn't really planning to blow this all up through text because number one, I hate texting and I really do. Number two, it's just going to get so muddled in a text, you're not going to understand it. So the best thing to do is if you're really, truly, genuinely interested, let's get on a video conference call and I'm more than happy to explain everything. And then there's the second filter. Because now we're getting the people who are a little more curious than the first group, now make it to the second filter. And if I say they're really, truly, genuinely interested, let's get on a video conference. If they get on a video conference with me, guess what, guys? They're a pretty serious candidate. And I'm excited about that, okay? Now, guys, I scraped the iceberg. We've got so much that we could cover. I know we've only got a couple minutes, but that's just the general idea, okay? There's a lot more stuff to be said, but we don't have much time. So Maria, I don't know what you would like to do here, but I'll turn it back over to you. I'll be here if you want to do questions or whatever you'd like to do.
Yeah, we can go a little bit over. So, I mean, I love the gist of all of that. And you kind of use that same format, you know, that you're using over and over again. And then from there is where you get them on a Zoom webinar and you're showing them the information, going through and filtering them out from there and going on with the process.
Yeah, that's exactly right, guys. So a couple things here I'll help with that. So first of all, my intention is always to get them on a Zoom, right? I Facebook stalk them first because they've already Facebook stalked me. Guys, there's just certain things that I've looked for, okay? This is just my personal opinion. I hope no one takes offense to what I'm going to say next. Please don't, okay? But when I go Facebook stalk them, they've now requested a video conference. I'm just going to be very honest. If they have a beer bottle in every picture on their Facebook page, I just don't. okay? Because I don't want to work with that person. I'm just being honest with you. You're going to have your certain criteria, okay, that you're going to, after you Facebook stalk them, say, I don't really feel like I want to work with that person. Fine. It's your business. You don't have to work with them. Okay, now here's one thing. Some people don't want to get on the Facebook, the Zoom call with you. That's okay, okay? Because sometimes they're just nervous. This is new to them. Some of them have never been on a video conference call, like ever, and it freaks them out, okay? So in the very beginning, I was losing a lot of people because they didn't want to get there, but I'm thinking, you know what? I know that there's some people who are just not ready. I got to figure out how to capture those people. So you know what I did? I created my own Facebook group that I am the admin, that I filtered them into, so that I could educate and give value there, not necessarily anything about LifeVantage, but just life. And you know what? A lot of people bit. And now a lot of people were cycling that group. And you know what happened? Then as they started seeing that I'm not out to hunt after them and be a salesy person, they then eventually came back and asked for a video conference later on. And lo and behold, now they're distributors at this point, okay? Or customers at that point. So you kind of see how that whole thing runs. So don't just let them go. If they get to your private message in Facebook, don't just let them go. Filter them to something that they can learn more about you, because there's sometimes just a trust value. But guys, I'm blown away how fast trust can happen on Facebook. There are people that you will meet literally the night before for the first time. In fact, I can tell you numerous stories where I met a person for the first time on Facebook, some other state, did a Zoom call with them that night at 7 o'clock at night. They turn around, they call me at 8 o'clock in the morning, first time ever, and they sign up as a platinum pack. And it's happened over and over and over and over. So again, there's lots of things I could say about this, but I'm more than happy to answer questions or whatever Maria would like to do.
Can you quickly tell people how they can find Messenger comments on people that are not their friends?
Yeah, so it depends on what platform you're using. So if you're using Facebook on your phone, okay, I'm going to try to do this very close so that you can see it. So again, it depends on what version of Facebook that you have. So I know that you probably are having somewhat of a hard time seeing, but this is in the Facebook Messenger app. So if you go and your face is up here, go ahead and click your face or whatever picture you have there. For me, it's my face. And it goes to the next thing. Now you see me there, and you see the first thing. It says dark mode. All that does is just change from white to dark. But then you see the next little button there. What does that say? It says message requests. And I want to show you just from today. I want to show you something. You see all those? That's just from today. Okay? So that's 6 today, or 7. 6, my math's bad. But that's just what the whole thing there of people who are constantly messaging. Actually, there's a few more that I've already looked through today, but that's how you do it on there. As far as in your...
I have a question, Jason. If it's not there, is it because you don't have a message or you have an old...
You might have an old version, or it might be the type of phone. So it might be a Samsung, it might be an older Apple, it might be... So it's going to be there in there somewhere, okay? Now, Facebook, what I've learned is sometimes they let you know about these Facebook message requests and sometimes they don't, okay? So my recommendation, if you're really going to go headlong into social media in the world of Facebook, I would recommend checking that every single day, okay? If you are in the world of using it on your laptop, it's actually a little bit different, and I'm sorry, I guess I could technically show, maybe I could show, can I share screen here? I don't know if, since I'm not an admin, I can, lo and behold, even though I'm not an admin. So I'm actually this is actually a good place for me. Okay, so guys, you see here, I got here. So right here, I believe it's in this, I don't use, so yeah. So guys, if you click the settings right here, okay, you see this up the top left, settings right here, and then you see right there, you see the little message request there. And that's where it's at. It does not give you a, I guess since I'm not, but it doesn't give you them notifying you right here where it says Maria Williams right above there. It doesn't show you when message requests are brand new there. It will only be in the gear where it says message requests. So that's just a simple look on how your computer would do. So on your phone, it might be a little bit of a variation, but it's there. You just, even whether you have a message or there or not, it should still be there, okay?
No, that's great and helpful, because if people start doing this and they're not friends and people are messaging them, they're like, where's that all going? So you have to find where those are at, and that they'll pop up. And I know Facebook can try to control some of that stuff, but this has been really valuable. Everything you said about not doing it on your personal page, I think that's like a great relief for people, because a lot of people don't like to do lives, and what am I going to post? I don't want to post the right thing. And now with compliance, what can I say? What can I not say, right? So that's why I really loved your approach of finding something you're interested in, find a group. And it was so funny, during Super Bowl, there was a Facebook thing about groups, and groups about kazoos and all these different things. And I'm like, look at that. So it's all about giving value in those Facebook groups and standing out and being different. And that's where people have to start getting creative. Look at what everybody posts. What could I say that is different to stand out, that someone, and I love the example you gave about the linear income versus leveraged income. You know, I've created leveraged income. What's that, right? People that don't know will start asking. So no, your time is valuable. I appreciate it. I know we could spend 3 hours on this, but so appreciate everything you've given me, you've given us. And if anyone has any specific things that they want, we can maybe set up a different time, but we're going to thank you for being on here tonight, and appreciate, I know where you're at, it's really late, but Jason, that has been so valuable. I mean, I love hearing it all over again. Just gets me excited on what we can do. So thank you so much. I have to say that Jason's not on our team. He's on a different team. But this is the LifeVantage culture, is that we are here to help one another. We are here to give back, because we want LifeVantage to be that multi-billion-dollar company, and we all want to be part of this and reap the rewards of all of this. So thank you so much, Jason, for helping us out tonight. Really appreciate it. I know you got tons of stuff and you can talk for hours, so we'll have to regroup for another time. But so what you gave is so valuable, and appreciate it so much. So thank you so much, Jason.
Thanks, Maria, for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been awesome as always. I am going to stop recording here.